Have you ever noticed that some streamers can have an average looking setup but sound professional? And then you have people that have like $1,000 setup for audio and then they sound like they're talking through a drive-through speaker? Yeah, I'm talking to you. The truth is audio matters almost more than everything else. So today I'm testing what might be one of the most amazing budget streaming creation content audio setups for beginners. Yes, we've got the FIFINE AM8 microphone, the SC8 audio mixer, and the H18V Lite headset. And we're talking full-on gaming headset. We're gonna test the mic quality, we're testing the headset, and we're testing the audio mixer. And yes, we're gonna test all 8 voice changers. Some of them are actually useful, and I'm not gonna lie, some of them are a bit ridiculous. So let's get into it. All right, so if you're gonna get into YouTube content, streaming, Discord, Twitch, you name it, audio is gonna be one of the best upgrades that you can do to your whole setup. And you can do this on a budget. And honestly guys, the nice thing about this whole setup that I'm showing you right now in this video is that it just simply makes sense. The AM8 handles your voice. The SC8 right here controls everything, controls it. And the H18V Lite, H18V Lite headset, it gives you your game audio and monitoring, which is W. So instead of buying just random gear and hoping everything meshes together, this system, this ecosystem, this setup right here is a more complete system. So let's start with the microphone. This is the FIFINE AM8. And honestly, this is probably the star of the entire setup. So the AM8 is a dynamic microphone. So if you're not familiar with dynamic microphones, one of their biggest advantages is the background noise reduction, which is W. Awesome. So if you're like me and you got mechanical keyboards, got fans in the background, dehumidifiers, I'm in a basement, dogs barking, lawn mowing, you get the idea. A dynamic microphone can make a massive difference. So the AM8 also gives you something that I personally really like, and that is going to be USB and XLR. So that means if you're like brand new, you can easily plug this thing right into your PC and just go plug and play. So you won't need an audio interface, you won't need a mixer, you don't need a bunch of extra equipment. This is very much a plug and play type microphone, but you can switch over to XLR through a audio mixer like the SC8. Now that flexibility is a huge win. So you're also getting RGB lighting, headphone control, you're also getting headphone monitoring, you got gain control, and then you also have a tap mute button right on top. So if you're like me and you ever just start going like a massive sneeze fit in the middle of gaming, the mute button, W. Right now we're gonna do an audio microphone quality test. Let's go. What you are hearing right now after my intro has been nothing but the AM8 microphone. So this is no fancy processing, no crazy editing, just the microphone. This is what it's going to sound like for gaming. This is what it sounds for streaming, Discord, and even some content creation, guys. Now let me type on my keyboard for a few seconds. And I have a Keychron mechanical keyboard, which it's very thocky, if you know. Bet you can't hear nothing, can you? W. So now I'm going to be moving away slightly from the microphone so you can get a little bit of distance. I'm about probably 12 to 14 inches away right now. So coming back in hot right here. So now this is what it's going to sound like slightly off axis. So if I'm coming over here to the side, talking to the side, or if I go over to the other side talking about, so you can tell right now the difference in the dynamic microphone is you want to be either talking into it directly or across it like this. And I'm not going to lie, guys, this microphone sounds amazing for the price, and that I cannot say that enough. It's a massive upgrade over most headset microphones. Now let's talk about the SC8 mixer. Y'all ready for this? Because this right here is where everything starts to feel like an actual streaming setup. So the SC8 acts like your audio control center. So instead of like constantly opening up Windows and Discord and OBS, you can just make adjustments right from the mixer on top. And that literally is one of the best advantages for it, because an audio mixer is like everything is just right in front of you. Just one little tweak away, one little knob twist away. The physical controls are just so much easier rather than pecking through software on your PC. So the SC8 also gives you game and chat balancing, gives you volume controls, mute control, RGB lighting, which is always a dub. You got monitoring options, you got voice effects. Yes, we do. And then you have a few other streaming focused features. One of my favorite things is the game and in-chat volume control. So if your teammates are too loud, dial it down a bit. Now, if your game is drowning out your Discord chat, dial it down a bit. You can always just adjust the balance. So it's simple, no hunting through menus, no alt tabbing in the middle of a match, which I do all the time. And it actually force closes some of my games when I alt tab. not Alt F4. I know you, but Alt Tab. Alt Tab out of like Rocket League, and it'll just close. If somebody can explain that to me, I would love to know. That's exactly the kind of features that a beginner is going to appreciate. Now for the fun part, the voice changer. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how ridiculous this is about to get, so we're gonna be doing this together. All right, so this is my normal voice. Voila. Hello, how you doing? And here is voice number 1. Enemy team prepared to be mildly inconvenienced. Now we'll go to voice number 2.
I have become the final boss on Discord. Oh yeah.
You know, I've been streaming so long that I can hear colors. You know what I mean?
So this is definitely not helping my credibility, I don't think.
Imagine hearing this in like a horror game lobby. You know what I mean?
But Mom said it's my turn for the audio mixer. Come on.
Okay, honestly, this one might be my favorite, just because it's the male voice, even though it doesn't really, I mean, just whatever. But it's, I mean, it feels like my favorite. It's probably one I would use personally.
All right. So, are these necessary? No. Are they a lot of fun? Absolutely. Would I use them in game? Absolutely. So, and if you're streaming or like making shorts or just messing around with friends, they can create some pretty fun moments. And I'm not gonna lie, we utilize them all the time in Discord chat. So, just saying, I'm an adult child. Leave me alone. Let's get into talking about the H18V Lite, H18V Lite headset that I'm wearing right here. So this one is interesting. It's actually an open back design. This is my first one that I've actually ever tested. I love how light it is for one, and I love the feel. I don't know how to explain it. It feels airy over your ears, which is different and cool. I love it. Most gaming headsets are going to be closed back, so the open back ones create like a wider, more open, like natural sound stage, if that makes sense. Everything just feels a little bit more spacious. And in gaming, like that can actually help with like your awareness, like your positional awareness. It's actually pretty fun to game with this. I've never gamed with an open back one before, but when I did, peak season was here. So the H18V Lite uses 53mm drivers that supports the 7.1 surround sound over USB. So sound W. And you also get a detachable microphone that I actually pulled off earlier. So you actually get this, and it plugs in through a 3.5mm jack. So me personally, so with this combo, the AM8, obviously I'm using this as a microphone, so I'm going to use that as my main microphone. But in a pinch, if you need the 3.5mm jack microphone, you got it. The headset also includes easy access controls via the remote control that actually you can use along with the headset, and it controls like the surround functionality, and it's you can control the volume, mute, and everything else along with it. And the compatibility is pretty good. So you can do PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, mobile devices, basically whatever you're gaming on. So how would I actually use this setup? I personally would use the AM8 as my personal, like the primary microphone. I would run it directly into the SC8 mixer via XLR, me personally, and then I would use the H18V for monitoring the in-game volume, and then my audio, my Discord chat. I would utilize this completely to control that. So that combination right there gives you a much better microphone quality than like a traditional headset. Definitely go with the microphone. So you get the physical controls for managing audio, and then you got a comfortable headset for gaming sessions, which this is really comfortable. It's like a foam. It's actually really light. This thing is super light on the head. So for someone starting out, this combination is a solid setup. So let's wrap this up, guys. Let's wrap it up. So what do I like? The AM8 obviously sounds great. The USB and XLR support gives you room to grow. The SC8 obviously adds real functionality. The H18V Lite headset here provides a spacious listening experience, and it's amazing for gaming, and then the controls over are obviously amazing for anybody basically gaming, streaming, your kids. Like this would be an amazing deal for your kids, like a setup for beginner. And Amazon Prime Day is coming up, so these are going to be on sale. I believe it's 15% off. Their whole lineup from FIFINE, 15% off during Prime Day. So check it out. Links are in the description. You already know. Anyways, get back into it. So the overall setup looks great on camera. So now we got to go for now the downsides. So if you're only recording like voiceovers, you probably won't need a mixer. And then obviously because the headset are open back, you do get a minimal amount of sound leakage. So from audio people, you know what I mean by that. But does that matter for most people that are going to be streaming, gaming? No, absolutely not. And that is honestly just part of the design in general. Now, as for the voice changer, that is definitely more of like a bonus feature than a reason to buy the mixer, but it is super fun.
Super fun.
So, you know me, guys, who is this going to be for? Who is this going to be 4. So if you're a beginner streamer, you got kids, you're a gamer, YouTuber, or someone that just simply wants a better audio setup and is a beginner and doesn't want to spend a boatload of money, I think this setup makes a ton of sense, perfect sense. The AM8 microphone is obviously the biggest upgrade. The SC8 mixer just makes everything easier to control right from your desktop, which is, to me, that is a W combo. And then obviously the headset just rounds out the whole thing nicely. It just makes everything feel like a full package. To me, this is going to be a setup that's going to help beginner people, like entry-level beginner people, like Twitch streamers and YouTubers and like Discord chat. It's going to help them sound more professional without everything being like overly complicated. Because when you start getting into audio mixers and audio interfaces and like all these crazy microphones that like condenser mics and stuff, then now you got to start tinkering with all your settings. You don't want to get into that. So if you want to check out any other products, you know me, like I said earlier, links are always going to be in the description. Remember, Prime Day is coming up, Amazon Prime Day, so check it out. 15% off all products. Links are in the description. Do it if you're interested. Do it. You got kids? W. Buy early for Christmas? W. Yo, and let me know in the comments. Tell me the truth. The voice changer. Which was your favorite, if any? So guys, hey, thanks for being here. If you liked it, hey, yo, hit the like, subscribe if you're new. I'll be here. This is Adam from Too Good Tech, and I will see you guys in the next one, man. Deuces.